Hello and welcome to Asian Pulse. I'm your host, Crystal Chan. Hope you all are having a fabulous day. I have been away from the show for a while, so I am back now. We are still in the middle of pandemic and schools are open now. Most of the children are in school. Some parents do not feel safe to send their children to school. Parents also have the choice to keep their children at home or do school online. This school year will be very different. We still have to be safe to make sure to wash your hands for 20 seconds, wear a mask, and keep 2 meters apart, as in social distancing. These are the only things we have in our control to keep ourselves and our families safe. I will be right back. Today's guest is Eileen Mohan, Chris's mom, who is our guest in our studio today to talk about her experience with the criminal justice system and hear from her. Where is she going now?
In my studio, sorry, can I do it again?
Ready? You two gonna start.
In our studios, again, it's my pleasure to welcome back Eileen Mohan. As we all found out by now that the case with Bacon brothers, Jamie Bacon, that court case is all done and over now. So Eileen, Chris's mom, is in our studios, and she's going to walk us through of past 13 years. What was it like, what is like, and where do we go from here? So Eileen, first of all, you are very brave and a very strong mom. Whenever you talk about your son, the innocent life that was taken, and another innocent bystander, or that person who was doing the fireplace.
Ed Schellenberg.
Yeah. And 2 lives were taken. There is no justification for that. And since 13 years is a long time, you have been on the forefront fighting for justice for Chris. Now the verdict had come down. How are you feeling right now? What is going through your mind right now?
13 years, we as a family were shattered when Christopher's life was taken. And the main person that started this disastrous event of killing people was Jamie Bacon. Because of him, he conspired the killings of the person who stayed opposite me. He sent in killers to kill that person. And because of that occurrence, my son Christopher was leaving home for basketball, got caught in the hallway, and became a witness, and they killed him too. It has been a very, very, very tough journey from October 19th to September 11th, 2020. And so many ways of our lives have changed. Our careers got to a standstill. The way we celebrate things seemed dull and dim. Everybody's life just was kind of shredded into pieces. It's hard to pick up the pieces and move on, and we have tried very hard to do that. Mm-hmm. We all have to go to work and earn a living and make some sense of what is before us every single day. And in the evening, I still have to return home to an empty house. Mm-hmm. That once used to be filled with, Christopher and smiles and laughter and smell of food. And just noise and video games and,
Music, loud noise, loud music.
just, when you enter the house, hey, Mom, you're home. What are we going to eat,
Yes.
And a big kiss on the cheek. And, as big as he was a huge teddy bear, and he was never shy to give me a kiss and a hug, say good night and say, I love you, Mom. And, I remember our very last conversation on the telephone on October 19th, the day he died. I called to check into the fireplace, and I was putting the phone down. I said to him, love you, babes. He said, love you too, Mom. See you tonight.
And there was
you
never
know,
that tonight. Never came.
And I think the most that I can persevere within me was we got to say I love you to each other, and that's the picture I want to have in my mind of our last conversations.
hold on to that.
Hold on to it. And I have, for 13 years, I've never stopped. I've forgot about my way of life, my career, who I am, what I need to do. I put myself aside, and I've put Christopher on the forefront, because Christopher, that day, his voice was silenced. He was removed from the face of our earth. He didn't want to die, but his life was forcefully taken. And as a mom, he became my priority. He's the first thing I think about in the morning and the last thing I think about when I go to sleep. And he's never too far away from me or in my thoughts, but I have fought this battle through and through. And Jamie Bacon's case was the last case that was for us the ultimate justice. And last year, the case got stayed, and we appealed, and we won the appeal, and the case was reinstated. And with Crown, we were so enlightened that finally we're going to trial. And Jamie Bacon was facing 2 counts of murder trial. He would have been put away for a chunk of years. And we were all very delighted that finally the person who orchestrated the murder of the person who lived opposite me and that took Christopher's life ultimately was going to face jail time.
And justice be served.
Exactly. Just not jail time, but, the way I looked at it, that he should not belong in the freedom of our world.
Yes.
Because he just didn't kill Christopher, his actions. There were 5 other lives that was taken that day. And so I, as a human being, we have to first honor the living. And when the livings are snatched away from us, we have to fight for their rights. And so, once the appeal was done, I was just so happy that finally, he's going to get a proper trial, and proper justice will be given to him, and he will face the jail time that he truly deserves. But on the other hand, what Jamie Bacon was doing, he knew we won the appeal. He had 2 cases going on at the same time, and he knew that he was facing a huge chunk of years behind bars, and probably won't come out till he's about 60 or 65 years old, or even
A
70.
life sentence, yeah.
And so what he did, he knew he was losing the battle. So he got together with his lawyers, and like a coward, he made a plea bargain deal. And this plea bargain deal would have not been agreed upon had Crown not agreed with the defense and accepted the plea bargain deal. So in a proper way, I feel very, very, very betrayed by the Crown. The Crown's actions did not portray or enunciate the lives taken.
Okay. So did you have the same crown from the day one when the case went to trial, or did you have in between different crowns, and maybe some crowns you got very, I mean, you liked them the way they were doing their job, and some they didn't, or was it different crowns on the way? Because crown is your counsel, and defense counsel is Jamie Bacon's, that's the defendant, right? So your crown is your lawyer who represent you in the court, or who is representing Chris's case and your case.
Yes, the Crown is a government person who represents Christopher.
Yeah.
He doesn't represent me. I don't pay him.
No.
And you know he's the person, because he's a government lawyer, and Christopher's case belonged to him.
Yeah.
It didn't belong to me anymore.
Yeah.
And so it was him who makes the ultimate decision.
Yeah.
And along the way, yes, we had different crowns. The one for Jamie Bacon was a different crown. And they
he
went...
will be a different lawyer for him, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so this team of Crown lawyers got into agreement with the Jamie Bacon's lawyer, and the reason that they gave was that because the officers in the case of when they were in the investigation phase, there were about 5 officers who did not have very good behaviors, and one got involved with the witness, and the witness is said to be his girlfriend or something like that. And so he said that his rights were abused then and violated. And then the other thing that Jamie Bacon brought up was that during the pre-trial period, the corrections officers violated his rights. And because of the violations of his rights, he made a plea bargain deal that that he wants all the first-degree murder trial status to be removed. And the Crown, in its part, agreed that the way they told us was that they thought that if we took this case to trial, Jamie Bacon won't be convicted, because the jury won't convict him because of the violations of his rights. All over, in everything that was going on with the Crown and Jamie Bacon's defense, in all that process, they forgot the rights of Christopher and 5 others that were killed by Jamie Bacon. Their rights were totally disregarded, and Jamie Bacon's rights became superior over the rights of Christopher and 5 others. And that's the part that I think that is grossly misjudged by the Crown. And though I don't know about the other family members, but as far as I'm concerned, I feel the court is a pillar of strength for innocent families, and when innocent lives are taken, the court has a right to stand behind those families. But far too often in British Columbia, we are the only province that we have a Crown Counsel. All the other provinces, the RCMP or the police of that province can lay charges.
Yeah.
They're responsible, except for British Columbia. So the law needs to change to address how innocent families and innocent lives are taken. And that, when murderers like Jamie Bacon comes, their plea bargain deal should never be entertained. And everybody should have equal rights as in the court of law. In Christopher's case, Christopher's rights were never recognized.
Yeah.
There was no equality there.
Yeah.
And so when Jamie Bacon got into the plea deal, I sat down. I didn't know where to go, who to talk to, what to say, and who could help us. So, as a person, I sat down and I said, well, the only person that can change things in the court of law is the Minister of Justice in Ottawa.
Yeah.
So I sat down and I wrote a letter to the Prime Minister, to the Minister of Justice, to all the leaders of opposition, and to our Premier and to our Attorney General. And I got a response from Justin Trudeau's office, the Prime Minister's office, and they told me that my request for changes at the Justice Minister's office on his table, and I will be hearing from him soon. And during the long weekend, as we were going into trial, I sat down and I wrote a follow-up letter to him as to what was now happening.
Yeah.
And we're going into case, and then, now Crown has agreed with the defense and giving, Jamie Bacon reduced number of reduced number of years because of the violations of his rights. But my argument with the Minister of Justice also was that these officers who violated his rights did not hire the killers to come to the 15th floor.
Yeah.
These officers did not conspire to kill my neighbor,
Yeah.
right?
And my son.
And when inadvertently Christopher got killed because of his actions,
Yeah.
these officers had nothing to do with the killings of 6 people on that day.
Yeah.
And the Crown justified the lesser sentence for Jamie Bacon as because of the officer's actions, Jamie Bacon is getting a lighter sentence.
I know.
They justified it and put the chunk of the blame on the officers.
Yeah. When the officers had nothing to do, they did not orchestrate this killing.
No.
And the person that is responsible, he got 18 years, and since then he's been behind bar. So all he has left is another 6.5 years,
No, he's getting
because he's served the time already, right?
exactly. But going back to these officers already were sentenced in the court of law.
Yeah.
They've already had their trial,
Yeah.
so it was all passed.
Yeah.
But to bring the past together and to give him a lighter sentence,
Yeah.
he's only getting 5 years, 7 months, and 8 days. But all is not lost,
Yeah.
because he has other cases that he has killed that is coming by, that he still might be indicted
Yeah.
and get a first-degree murder charge. So all is not lost.
Yeah.
And the other thing is not lost is that, we get, once the Minister of Justice comes back, we get to change some laws. And, as families that have come by the courthouse and the doors of the courthouse, we seem to be begging for justice.
Yeah.
Begging, especially innocent families like us, simple people who we were earning our living, studying, going about our lives. We had nothing to do with.
You did not break any law, and
We
you
had
had
nothing
to
to
pay.
do with this.
Yeah.
Yet the court chose to punish us
Yeah,
over the criminals.
yeah,
And so my stand is there has been so many families who have come through this courthouse and revolved, and they've taken this sentence and gone home and thought this is it.
yeah.
We can't do anything about it. But no, you can. You have rights.
Yeah.
That's where our elected officers are for.
Yeah.
These people that run in elections,
Yeah.
that's what they do. They come to fight for us because we elect them as taxpayers. They are paid by us. So
So you do have a voice.
Of course,
And you
so-
have to exercise your right and have your voice.
and make your
Your
voice heard.
Yes.
You just don't give up, and I'm not giving up
Okay.
because we need to change laws.
Change the system.
Yeah.
Because the system is very old and it doesn't work for everybody. It works more, not for the victims, but the accused. So we need to revamp the system that we have in place. So now, since the court is done, sentencing is over, I'm very sorry to hear that. But what are you gonna do? Where do you go from here? You could have been a lawyer by 13 years, sitting in the courtroom, listening to everything. You could have been a lawyer today and represent yourself or what have you. You would have done much better job than what the Crown did. Anyhow, where do you go from here now?
Well, we still are back into court on October 14th
Yeah.
because Havishak and Johnson, who were charged with first-degree murder charges
Yeah.
and were sentenced, are appealing their cases because of Jamie Bacon's case now.
Okay.
So we're back in court then, and that's an 8-day trial. We see what that brings, and then from here, I await to hear from the Minister of Justice to see how we can bring our laws into the 21st century.
Yes.
So that the crimes of today is recognized, the courts recognize the crimes and criminals of today. And we put a stop from other criminals using Jamie Bacon's case
Yeah.
to set themselves free.
Yeah.
So
The
we need to
precedent.
put a stop to that precedent.
Yes.
Yeah, so I am going to, I've made
So you are
a
not
pact.
waiting now.
No, I made a pact to myself that I will make a change in the system before I die. Even if I have to write hundreds of letters, I will do it. Because something's got to give.
Yeah.
We families cannot suffer like this. And future families that are coming, innocent future families, we have to pave a way so that their emotional strain can be respected, their lives can be respected, and their dead loved ones can be respected.
And at the end of the day, justice be served for
Exactly.
the innocent victims.
Amen. Yes.
Amen. Thank you so much, my dear friend, for coming. And I know every time you speak about it, there's so much emotions. And those people that are listening, anytime you want to talk to Eileen, she is always available. And if there is anything that you are going through, she become an expert now in our community. You can talk to her too.
Most definitely.
Yeah, thank you. And I knew from day one that you're not going to stop. You're not going to stop. And let's all get together and get this system changed.
Very true.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Camilla.
Thank you, Eileen. You are unstoppable. If you want to see any changes, one person has to believe it and push for the change. We have some exciting events that are happening in our community that you may be interested in participating in. Sunday Students Food Banks, Guru Nanak's Free Kitchen in collaboration with One Voice Canada is organizing Sunday Students Food Bank starting from July 5th every Sunday. Variety of groceries and fresh produce, bakery items will be distributed at Guru Nanak Sikh Gurdwara near Surrey Centre parking lot. from 12:30 until 2 p.m. For more information, please contact Hardeep Singh at 778-814-7054. In honor of International Daughters Day, there is a film featuring about women, and this is taking place on October 10th and 11th. For submission and more information in regards to this film, contact Sonia Adi at 604-807-8796 or Allison at 778-896-0294. We ran out of time. Hope you have enjoyed the show as much as I do bringing it to you. If you have any comments or story ideas, please email us at asianpulse@gmail.com. If you have missed our show today, you can always watch it again on Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 5:30 p.m. Goodbye for now and take care of yourselves. Until we meet again, your host, Crystal Chand.
छुप गए सारे तारे बादलों में छुप गए वो नजारे बादलों में छुप गए
छुप गया बदली में जाके चांद भी शर्मा गया छुप गया बदली में जाके चांद भी शर्मा गया आपको देखा तो फूलों को पसीना आ गया अरे माही